So far we have been dealing with variables where you can store one value at a time. If you have int I is equal to 5 and later if you say I equal to 9, then the value 5 is overwritten by 9. Let's say you have a situation where you have employee numbers from 1 to 100. Now either you can declare 100 variables and use them, but that isn't manageable and would be confusing. So to store multiple values under one name, you have the concept of arrays. Arrays are a type of data structure where you can store multiple values under one name. Let's see how to declare an array. Like variables, you have the data type first and then the name of array, and then there are the square brackets where you have to write the number of values that you want to store in that array. Let me show you how we do it practically. Let's say I want to store 5 values under one name, that is array which can store 5 values. Then I will declare it like this. I'll say int the array name, that is I. Inside the square brackets I want to store 5 values, so I'll write 5. So I have 5 here, is equal to, then inside the curly brackets we have the various values that we want to store. If I illustrate this declaration internally, it will look something like this in the memory. Array is a collection of similar type values and they are always in sequence. So you can say array is a sequential storage. Every box or every value you see is called an element. So how many elements do you see here? Of course, 5. Each element is given a unique ID or a number which always starts with 0, known as index number. So here the index number will be 0 to 4. So index always starts with 0 and the last index will always be the number of elements minus 1. Let's say I want to print the value of the third element, then I will say cout the array name, that is I, and inside the square brackets I will write 2. As you can see here, the index is 2 and the element is third one. This also means to access an element we use the square brackets. Let's say I want to change the value 36 to 56. Then it is the fourth element, but the index number is 3. So I will say I in the square brackets 3, that is I of 3 is equal to 56. Remember, an array of 5 elements will have index number from 0 to 4. Also remember, array index always starts with 0. This should give you some basic idea about how to deal with arrays. Let me show you a quick example which deals with an array of 5 elements. Let me declare an array to store integers. So I'll say int I. Inside the square brackets I'll say 5 is equal to, inside the curly brackets I will write the various elements. Now I want to display them. So let me write the cout I of 0, that is the first element. Now let me copy this line and paste it 4 more times and let me edit them as well. Now let's run it. And it displays all the elements of the array. Let's say if I want to increment the value of third element, then I can write it like this. I of 2 plus plus. So this will increment the value of the third element of array I. Let me display the value as well. Let's run it. And it displayed 3 plus 1, that is 4. Still we can improvise in the code by using loops with arrays, which we will see in the forthcoming videos.